Hello everyone and welcome to the Tiger Den. I hope you guys are doing well. I did put a little message out on the Discord about streaming late today. I apologize. Lunch took longer to make than I thought, and I was writing and I was doing a million other things and got packages and yada yada. My cat is going to piss me off by knocking down my tablet again and my phone. So I came up here and found my tablet stand on the floor about 2 or 3 feet away with the legs broken and the cat knocked off, and so yay. Fun for that. I gotta hot glue and fix it, or super glue or something to fix it. Today we are not doing watercolor, just because of the fact that I do have this, which I need to paint. I've had it for years and I've never once painted it. I was taking it in, and I took it in last week to a pottery studio where they pointed out this crack right here where that's just, my husband flaked it off on accident. But this crack, they said when it's fired, may expand and go all the way up to here. So it would basically break the lid. So I decided I'd just take it home and acrylic paint it. Maybe, if they have the mold, because she said they might have the mold of this, they'll call me and let me know if they did actually have the mold. And if they did, I will go ahead and pay for one that I can turn into a cookie jar. Originally, this was going to be the cookie jar, but I think I'm going to change it into a jewelry box type idea. I don't know if it'll fit in like the 2 places I have. I do have my dresser. I could probably fit it on the dresser, actually. Either way, I'm going to turn it into a jewelry box. This is what it looks like. There are 2 cats laying in a blanket. And right now, we are just going to focus on the base coloration. So what that means is I'm just going to put the base colors on, and I'm not going to add any shadowing or shadows. Or I said shadowing. Any shadowing or highlights yet. And we will just kind of slowly build it up and bring it up over time. This is the other half of it. It's a cute little basket. And this is the inside that I was going to make into a cookie jar. But we all know how that went because I just explained it. So I'm going to start with the cats themselves. I am actually going to start with this cat because I see it goes down into the blanket, and I want the blanket to cover up any messy colorations I do. So this cat's going to be black, this cat's going to be white, and we are going to do our best to keep it to the cat with what I paint. So for the base layer of the cat that's black, we're going to be doing black paint. Makes sense. And for the eyes, we're going to be doing white, and hopefully for the base color on this cat, it's also going to be white. If that white doesn't show up, we'll go ahead and do parchment, which is maybe mix it into the white a little bit just to lighten it up, but just to give that off-white color. I do have a lot of brushes, bigger brushes out for this project because it is pretty big. I don't know how much of this you guys are going to see as I paint it. I'm going to do my best to keep it in vision so that way you guys can see how it's turning out, but I'm not going to promise anything. Now I'm just shaking up my black, make sure it is nice and ready to go. I think I am running low on black. I may have to get more black. Yeah, I don't see any more black in here, so I may have to buy more black later. Now, for iridescence, I do plan on doing... Ooh, actually. I could do a red iridescent for the silky part. Okay, I'm pulling out my red iridescent. I'm gonna do this line right here that is the top of the blanket where it's got the seam. I'm gonna make it look like silk and do a red iridescent, and the rest of the blanket's gonna be red. I got the pink out for the noses. I was originally gonna do like a pink blanket with the red on the edges, but I think I like the idea of the iridescent red much better. So shook it up. I think it's good. I'm gonna go ahead, and have black attack me. I'm gonna pour some out here. I'm gonna pour out a decent chunk because the cat is kind of big. And I'm gonna go ahead and take my my angled brush. I'm just gonna dip it in. Kind of make sure it's not too thick. We're just gonna start painting where that cat is. And as you can see, it's already kind of messy. So I want to make sure those lines are nice and clean by painting the other one over top. And we will be bringing shadows into this. I know that sounds weird that I'm doing black before shadows and highlights, since, you know, black is usually the shadow. But I promise this is a good technique to do, is to do your base color and then build up on top of it. We are just slowly in the cracks adding this black, and this is going to be a long paint process as it is a big piece, so this will probably take a few streams to finish. I don't know if I want to go back to watercolor painting in between finishing this. That was the bedding. My bad. I don't know if I'm going to go back to watercolor painting in between this, or if I'm just going to focus on this for a few streams. We will see how that goes. Probably depends on, you know, what I'm feeling for the day. I'm very motivated to paint this because I've had it for years. I'd say at least 15 years or so, maybe 20. And I've been wanting to paint it for a long, long time. I just thought it had to be fired to turn it into a cookie jar, which it does. You have to use food-safe glaze, and then you have to fire it to make that glaze actually be a glaze and shiny and make it food-safe. But apparently that crack makes this not an option. I don't know if the crack was there when I originally got this, or if it was something I did with storage or transport. That I don't know. But we are going to just kind of roll with it. Now, with ceramics and big pieces like this, you want to focus your big areas first. Good afternoon, Matt. Welcome in. Welcome in. Welcome back to the Tiger Den. So with ceramics like this, you want to focus the big areas first. And, oh, thank you for the hydrate. I shall hydrate in just a moment. God knows today we need to do a lot of hydrating. Feel free to spam the hydrate today. I will not get mad. Anyway, with ceramics like these, you do want to paint the big areas first and then go back in with detail work instead of doing it all at once.
Bothering Rosie instead of playing your games.
Really, May?
Don't you have anything better to do?
Nope, May, we all don't have lives. Why would I stream if I had a life? Anyway, so we definitely want to focus the bigger areas here before going after the smaller details. So I'm starting with that pure black, and we'll go in with a darker gray like a pavement. And then for the super highlights, we'll go in with a regular light gray that I might darken just a touch with some pavement. Just that way it can be not super stark difference, just a little bit of difference. And we will be using the dry brushing technique when we do that. And if you guys don't know what that is, then, you know, come to the other streams. I will show you. For those of you like Matt in here that I know paint miniatures, it's basically the same technique. I know you know what dry brushing is and all that fun stuff. But this is going to be my black kitty. Technically, it does have some natural highlights and shadows, just because of the fact that it is actually a, it is 3D detailed. But we want to extenuate those details when we go to finish this piece. Again, I'm trying my hardest to keep this as clean as possible, but with these brush sizes I have to use, it's going to be difficult to get nice clean lines without hitting the other objects around it. Now I am going to paint the nose black because my black kitty has a black nose, and this, while it's not the exact right shape, is based on my black kitty. The other one is a white cat. I don't know, mostly because the stark difference looked really nice. I don't know if I'm going to base it on another cat that I may or may not have, but I am going to make it white. Dry brushing is like cheating, and I love it. It really is like cheating. Okay, I gotta put this down. I know it's hard to see it when I paint like this, but I do have to put it down because I'm getting to the top part of it, and I can't see the top part, which is also pretty important. We gotta carefully paint around that eye. Don't want that eye to get black. We can always go back in with white, but I know the white will not be as stark if it's on top of a black, I think. Maybe not. So right here, I'm going in with the small end of my angled brush. We're just painting around that eye. Getting rubbed up against by my cat. Because he demands the attention. He is the boozed. Alright, so we've gotten around that eye pretty good. Kind of paint up here just to get a little bit more of a gap. There we go. Some of these areas in the black
may feel like cheating, but if it helps you create stunning pieces, then why not?
Exactly.
Embrace the technique
Very
and
good,
let
May.
your creativity flow.
Good
Just don't
point.
rely on it too
okay.
much.
Still talking. The worst part is I have set her to the lowest amount of talking as possible, and she still talks for freaking ever. Anyway, I forgot what I was saying. Thank you, May. Yeah, I don't remember what I was saying. Oh, well. Yeah, based on how this is currently going, it does look like we're just going to be able to get the base coats on today, which isn't a bad thing. It'll give them time to dry, so when I go to do the next layer, it won't mix with this bottom layer. I do have to do the other eye here. So I'm going to slowly bring it up and over. Again, I'm trying to paint this in a way you guys can see it. I hit that eye. I hit the eye. No, I hit the eye. Okay. Again, just being very careful with the tip of that brush, just to get that eye in there. And I did hit it a couple times, so I will have to take some white in there, but I will be doing that with a much smaller detail brush, so that'll be easier to hit. I'm not going to worry about the eye right now, because again, if I do it while it's still wet, the colors will mix. And while acrylic does dry fairly quickly, I'd like to give it a few days of drying before I hit it up with the next layer. Alright, that cat does go down there, so we will tackle that back here in a minute. Now it does have little spots because of the the 3D texture here. I am having to go over a couple spots I already painted, just because it is showing as it settles that the spot wasn't fully covered. Now this is a lot of black. I got out a lot of black, and I was hoping I wouldn't need all of it, but I am using most of it so far. So I actually may have to get out more black yet. We'll see. Going back to setting it down so I can get some of this higher part up here. I do have to have my brush fairly thickly covered just to get it to go in the ridges. So that's part of why it's starting to look like a dry brush technique in some areas. I just realized I didn't get my rag out. I suppose that might be helpful as I'm washing my brushes to change colors. Paint the ears. We're very close to having to turn this around to get the back portion. Okay, so now we're turning it. We're going to hit up this back. Now there's some areas on this back I probably should swap to a smaller brush with. I'm not going to because I like being stubborn. And I will have to go back in with the black anyway when I go to paint the blanket, as it does have some pieces going, or some coloration, some hair going over top the blanket. So I will have to go back in and repaint this black in those areas. I'm not even going to pretend like I'm not going to mess up the hair. Come on, cover up. There we go. This back side has a little bit more hair detailing to it, so it's becoming a little bit more challenging to actually cover. That's okay, I can make it work. So as an artist, I notice there are a lot of people that will do different things with their acrylics. Some artists leave the acrylic on unwashed and then they just wait till it's thick enough to where they can just peel it. I like washing after each time I use it. What is your favorite method of cleaning your palette? Do you let it dry out and then clean it later, or do you clean it as you go? I may try with this palette this time to just let it dry and then just put colors over top of it and see how that goes. Just because I want to see if it is much easier to deal with just pulling out a chunk than it is washing each and every time. So it's starting to get a little thick in some places, like dry thick on here on my palette. Okay. I think that is coated enough. Pretty sure we got this cat completely covered. Okay. Just kind of checking all the areas, see if there's any as it dries that's just kind of white or anything like that. I did accidentally paint the pillow the cats are on, so I am going to have to go back in and paint that. That, I think I'm going to also do the pink for the pillow, just that way it has a color similar to the red. Okay. I'm going to wash out that black, and I think I'm going to tackle the blanket. No, I'll tackle the other cat first. Then I'll tackle the blanket. And then I'll tackle the lovely pillow. I'm not going to worry about the insides quite yet, as I do want to decide what color I'm going to put in there. I haven't fully decided. I'm thinking like a deep red or like a like blue or something like that, a dark blue. But I haven't the foggiest idea. Okay, so now we're going to go with this white. Hopefully this white shows up. If not, we're going to add a little bit of parchment to it. And it does show up nicely. Okay. So this is an off-white colored ceramic. So doing this white is definitely going to help it and bring out more of its beautiful color. Now I could just dry brush the white on and then use the natural color of the ceramic. We all know I'm not going to do that because that would be too easy and would make too much sense. I want to make sure it's nice and white, and then I will shadow it. Probably shouldn't start with white. I probably should have done the parchment just to get that nice base color in the shadows. It's fine. Maybe I'll just leave it all white and not shadow it at all. Because it does have those nice natural shadows. Picking up that black a little bit. As I get near that black, I'm picking it up. Anyway, it has the nice natural shadows on it. I will say the white, while visible, is not perfectly visible all throughout it. When it's in a shadow in any spot, it's hard to see the white. So I think that is also going to help with the shadowing effect that I'm going for. I think I'm not going to paint the nose quite yet. I'm going to do the pink for the pillow, but we're going to wait for the nose when I go to do detail work. So we're just going to paint it white for now. And while I could avoid the eyes, since the eyes are going to be white, I'm not going to worry about not painting the eyes in, since we're already using a whole bunch of white to paint everything else. Seems silly to not go after those eyes as well. I know it's not the best angle to watch. I'm trying to make sure you guys can see it, but some of these angles are kind of awkward. Just gonna paint over those eyes. Get rid of some of that dust. Probably should have washed and dusted this off first before starting, but that, again, would have been too easy. That would have been logical. That would have been me planning ahead. Okay, now we're going to rotate it. We're going to get up here on this eyebrow that I missed. Get it up the head. Again, there's not a lot here that is that is changing with this white, so you guys probably don't even see it. It looks very close to the ceramic color. Very, very close. So again, I probably could have just dry brushed this white and used the natural ceramic color as the shadow. But it's too late now. It's too late as soon as I put it on, honestly. So I put it on nice and fluid and chunky, which made it a lot more, it made it hard to go in. It made it so it went into the cracks. I do have a lot of white here. I may have to refill my white with it. I do also have quite a decent amount of black I should probably put away as well. Again, we're not going for those highlights and details right now. We're just going for the base coloration. So let's go ahead. I'm going to put away the colors that I have used. And like I said, I'm going to leave the rest to see if a, if the palette is better when I let it dry and just kind of peel it off later, or if it's better to wash it after each one. That black away. Okay, set that over there for a minute. Water is already very, very dirty. We're going to put this white away. Maybe. I can unscrew the cap. Is it not going to come off? Is it not going to pop off if I just wasted all this white? Yeah, I think I've wasted that white because that's not opening. And I don't want to fight it. I don't think I have some containers here for storing paint, but they're all full right now. I don't think I have anything else that I can, yeah, I don't have anything else I can store the paint in. Okay. I'm about to waste all this white. Yes, I am. Okay, it's fine. It's fine. Everything's fine. So next step is I'm going to actually do the pillow and then do the blanket. That way I can separate where the blanket and pillow are. So I'm going to do the pillow in this nice kind of mauvey green. Green? Mauvey pink. It's a nice dark neutral pink. We're going to restrict how much we pull out here. Set that on that side. Now we are going to, I'm going to lift it up. I just realized I touched the white because I forgot that that was painted. And we're just going to come in here and paint this pillow. Now again, I probably should use a smaller brush for this, but we all know I'm not going to, because that would be logic, and I don't follow logic. I am gonna have to go back and forth on some of these just to build up layers, especially where I put the black on this pink on this pillow. And the clean lines of the cat are also not super easy to do. It's not going to be a perfect cat for sure. Probably would have been this way if I also did the glaze at the shop. I would not have had perfect lines. I would have tried, but I wouldn't have had them. It's really hard on ceramics to get a nice clean line. It's also hard on miniatures too, if you've ever painted one. Over here to the white side. Trying to get that nice, even, clean line, but it's going up onto the ceramic of the cat, so it's not as clean as I would like. Getting that pillow painted. Probably grabbed too much pink for this pillow as well. I'm just overestimating how much paint I need on everything, apparently. I'm so used to watercolor where I just wet it and it dries if I don't use all of it. I'm sticking to pre-mixed bottle colors because as I layer and paint, if I need to go back in to fix a detail somewhere here and there, I can have the exact color instead of having a close match to it. So that's part of why I am using direct out of the paint bottle. Normally people would mix their own colors and things like that, but I'm not good at matching colors I've already pre-made. I'm not a wizard, like some of those color theorists are. Okay, and this one has little dots of white coming through. Okay, got that nice and level. Let's get this a little bit more detailed. Come back to this first area and clean up some of that black that's showing through. Okay, and the last area for the pillow is right over here. It goes to about here. So we're going to work on that line so I don't overshoot where the pillow ends. Now we're going to take this line by the cat. We're just going to slowly paint around the cat. Clean up my brush. The thicker the paint, the easier it is to get more out of, but it also means that you have a little bit more, I don't know how to explain it. It's just a thing. It's easier to have more paint on your brush than less. Especially where you're trying to make clean lines, which I am definitely failing at. Cover that hole. There we go. I have gotten this all over the white cat and all over the black. Because why not? Let's just make the messiest paint job ever. I could go in like a Sharpie and outline things. That might be cool. And then I don't have to worry about my messy lines. We're just painting the bulk of it here. Trying not to dry brush it because that is not where we're at right now. I will take a lighter pink, not super light. I'll probably just kind of take a light pink and then put a little bit of this dark mauvey pink into it. Just that way it's pretty close and has like a mother color where they look the same or have the same undertones. And then I will paint for the dry brushing on this. I still have that black coming in. I'm not even near the black. My brush just that saturated with black even though I washed it. And yes, I did get too much of the pink as well. Now, ceramics definitely take layers, so don't expect what we're finishing tonight or today to be the final look of it. So I do have to go in with detail brushes and just kind of clean it up. There we go. Okay. There's where our cats are at so far. It's so pretty and cute. So now we're going to do the big red blanket. And that is on both sides. I'm going to put this pink away. I'm very sad that I can't put the white away. I am very, very sad about this. I have got to be more conservative with the colors I am doing because it's a lot easier to get more paint out than it is to put it away. Especially in these like tube ones. The tube ones is super cheap. The Liquitex Basics is what it is. So those ones tend to be on the cheaper end, but I still want to make sure that they are good. So for this one, I'm going to swap to my big flat brush because it is a lot more area to cover. And I'm going to use one of these bigger areas, so I'm probably going to put it like right there to put out the red because, again, it's a bigger area. It's got lots of area that we got to paint it. I think I'll actually use this area. No, because I want that for the brown. I don't need this one because that is going to be highlight shadow. That's highlight shadow. And then that basket is going to start all brown. So yeah, we're going to put this over here. Come on, I shook you. We're going to start with that much red and watch me need a crap ton more now that I have been putting too much. So I'm actually going to start with this small tiny brush because there's a little bit of the red right here at the top. We're just going to put in that red right up here. Just a little bit at a time to try and get that red nice. This will be an area where the iridescent red goes in. But for now, like I said, I just want to get those base colors in. And then we'll do the other two sides here with this brush. Because I do need that point, that detail point, to make sure the lines stay nice and clean. Okay, just sweep it up so that way it can fill in rather quickly and nicely. And it's just the back that we're going to use that super big brush on. The faster the strokes are, the more I can paint and complete today. Now in the future, we'll probably not start with the cats, we'll probably start with the basket because I do have a lot of dry brushing and shadowing and highlighting I need to do with it. Which now I think about, I don't want to start with the dark, no, the dark brown is the shadow. So I do want to start with the dark brown, especially if I am dry brushing it to make it lighter. Okay, I think I got that far back enough. There's a few areas still of holes of where red should be. Okay, now we're going to go to the other side, which this is already pretty dry on here. So I probably could do another layer today. I don't mean layer like going back in the black and doing more black to make it thicker. I mean layer as in like clean up some of the areas, maybe add the highlighting and the dry brushing, that type of stuff. I could do the base of iridescent red. That might be nice. Could also do the entire inside of the basket brown, I suppose. And once I'm done with this, I'm not going to go straight into that big brush. I'm going to use this angle brush to do the lining around the cat's heads, and then go in with that big brush. It's got a little bit of dark spots here. Okay. Alright, now let's line these cat heads. So this is where we got to get a lot of like close detail work. I am overshooting some of it, and this is also where we're gonna, with those detail brushes, come back in and give the hair back over the blanket instead of the blanket being over the hair. Again, this is just base coat territory, and with the paint being so thin on here, that is why it's drying so quickly. That a little bit just to clean off the brush. Now we're coming over here to the black kitty, which again is getting everything red except for where I need to. Right here's one of those black hair spots that I'm not going to worry too much about covering. Here's another one. I got the outline done. I'm going to give it a little bit thicker so that way I don't accidentally run into anything. And then I will take out that giant brush and we're going to paint as quickly as we can. Who knows? Maybe I'll have, like I said, maybe I'll have enough time to do the second layer of all this. It's not going to be the detail layer. We're not going that far. As we go further and further, we do have to lower our brush sizes. And I'm not going straight to the smallest. Okay, that's thickened that line a bit. I'm just going to dry brush that off, clean the brush, and move over to the bigger one. Okay, so now we're taking that big one, we're dipping it in, and we're just going to start painting. Go around the edges. And I think this red is going to complement the white and the black very nicely. Give a nice kind of velvety feel of the blanket. Or maybe silk. Maybe we'll go with silk feel. Because the iridescent on the edges where the seams are is going to make it feel more like silk than a velvet blanket. Most cats, when they're this young, will usually get cotton, though. Yeah, I'm going to need more red. I love how the big area that I'm like, I don't want to put as much as I think I need, ends up being the one that I need the more of. But again, it's easier to pull out more paint than it is to put it away. Not that it's hard to put away. Only if you mix it is it hard to put away. Okay, we're setting that down now. Oop, almost broke it in half. That was a hard set down. Spread out the last little bit of red that I still have over here just to make sure I use up as much of this red as possible. I don't have extra left over. Now I did cover quite a bit of the area here, so I'm not as worried about how much I pour, or squirt out, whatever word you want to look at it. Hello, Dusk Enterprises. Welcome back to the Tiger Den. How are you doing today? Hello, hello. Apparently my red's getting low because it's doing the squirty noise. That or I just didn't shake it enough earlier. Today we are painting a ceramic that I've had forever. I did want to try and make it food safe and glaze it.
Doing well. Thank you very much.
I'm doing okay.
Don't worry about me.
Yeah.
Focus on your own well-being instead of trying to check up on me.
Oh my gosh, May, that wasn't for you. I'm doing really good. For the most part, what I have been is a little overheated because we're supposed to have like 90s all week. And then the other thing is I tried to take this pottery piece to the local pottery studio, and I was going to use their glazes to make it food safe, and then I was going to make it into a cookie jar. Well, I found out there's a giant crack on this lid here, which could easily crack all the way through the lid. And what that means is I would no longer have a lid to the cookie jar, which the main purpose of this cookie jar is the lid with the cats. So they suggested I acrylic paint it and just not use it for food. So now I'm acrylic painting it. I have had it forever. I have never completed it. So we are going to complete it now. Right now we are just getting the base coats on, an idea of where each color is going to be. We'll go back, we'll highlight with some dry brushing, and the base coat should stay as the shadow in the areas, which will hopefully become very nice looking. Can't get that one small area. Trying to get all the areas where it would have a like a white spot, make sure those get covered. Which means I have to make my paint a little more dense on my brush. Oh, someone's here. I don't know who it would be. My curiosity is piqued. I'll have to ask my husband later. Oh, did they get let in? I'm hoping it's not another surprise visit. I'm so sick of those. Okay, I think that red is a nice base here. I got the front, I got the sides, I got the back. So that is doing really, really well. So now the next step is to paint the basket. The basket is going to be mostly a nutmeg dark brown, and then we'll highlight it to add more of those lighter brown colors for the woven basket. I think the acrylic is dry enough that I can go in with that iridescent here and get this nice seam spot, the outside lining, nice and shiny. So we're going to go ahead and do that real quick because I don't want to move on to this basket. It's going to be so much fun. I don't think you heard my sarcasm enough. Come on, give me that red. That should be... Oh, I'm going to do a little more. That should be enough red. And I did pretty good on estimating the red the second time. It did manage to use all of it without having any left over. Now I gotta be careful.
Dusk Enterprises.
Oh.
Your amusement means nothing to me.
Maybe
Keep your
nice.
giggles to yourself and focus on something more productive.
Maybe nice. Anyway, I forgot. I hate you, May. You make me forget my train of thought all the time. Oh, I'm going in with the corner of this flat brush. Normally I would use the angle brush. I don't feel like switching brushes again. And like I said, all my pieces have to have some sort of iridescent shine. So in this case, it's going to be the blanket hem. That's going to have that nice shine. My concerns are very much getting met right now. I'm sure if it was someone truly important, my husband would come up here and tell me. But I did get a text, so I'm wondering if it was someone of importance through a text message. Alright, so this iridescent is giving a nice silky feel to this red, which is really, really good. Like I said, as you guys know, all of my pieces have to have some sort of shine to them, some sort of iridescence. It's no fun if it's not shiny. Which, to be fair, had I actually made it a ceramic and glazed it, it wouldn't have had any shiny spots, but it would have had like speckled spots, which I kind of use for ceramics as my go-to. And speckled just means there's like little dots of color here and there. And you can't really control where they come out. You can always add more, but you can't really take them away. I really feel like I need to check my phone right now. I'm so worried. Okay, there's that one done. Then we have to do this little side one that's coming into the front, which has some white spots that were not fully covered. Who was at the door? Oh! Hello! I did not expect that at the door. That is perfectly okay. I think I have a little bit of red here. Yeah, I do. I can come in and just cover up this red in the blanket area and the silky spot. Then we can come up over here. And while the red is still a little wet where I just brushed in that dry brushing, I should be able to get away with adding this silky look to it as well. Well, there was no silk on the other side. It just looked like it was kind of... It's a blanket that's all wrapped up, so it's not perfectly around the cats. Can't see very well. I can't see, which means you guys definitely can't see. We're almost done. It looks like I had more iridescent shine than I thought I would need. So once again, where I don't need a lot of it, I pour too much, and where I did need a lot of it, I poured too little. I am going to go over it with one more layer, just because there are a few spots that aren't completely covered here, or look a little thin. So right up here looks a little thin. Down here looks a little thin. Yeah. We're just going over one more time with that layer of iridescent shine, just to make sure it is nice and covered. This also helps me use up some of that extra iridescent shine that I grabbed, because I don't want to put it away. Cover up that normal red area up here. I feel like there should be a line, like some silk over on this side, but there isn't. There's no line suggesting it's there. Okay, turn and rotate. Do a little bit more on this side. Once again, just kind of thickening it, make it a little better. This also, again, uses up all my iridescent paint that I poured out. As you guys can see on the messy lines here on the cat, again, I will have to go over and paint and then just use a detail brush to clean up those edges. So that is the top done before, you know, all the designs and stuff. The dry brushing, the lighter areas, the lighter colors, that type of stuff. So now we go for the harder one, which is going to take forever. This is going to take an hour in itself. Like, that was an hour to do the entire top. This bottom part is going to take a full hour. I guarantee it. I just iridescence myself. Gotta brush that paint around so that way my touch does not ruin it. Okay. Some of these look really bubbly. It's got like little bubble specks on it. Okay, so let's gently and carefully swap these two. Again, I don't know what color I'm going to do the inside. I'm thinking like a dark navy blue. I don't really have a dark red right now. When I say navy blue, that's purple. I mean kind of like this, but a little more grayed, so I just add a little orange to kind of mute it a bit. Now for the basket, this is where we're going to have a ton of brown. I am going to do these edges as well right here at the top, because I want the basket to feel like it's actually going in, even though I'm not painting the middle brown. Shaky, 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 shake. So once again, we're just going to squirt enough that we think is enough, and then we're going to go back in and either put it away, but I have a feeling we're going to have to get more. Because like I said, this is a lot of brown in this. This entire basket is going to be brown. We're just going to start with the rim here, which is getting a little bit of the inside, but that's fine. Again, we can go over that since it's acrylic with another color. It's not like watercolor where that's the end of the world. Actually, you know what? I kind of like this top rim being brown, so I think we're going to go ahead and cover this top inner rim as well. as I'm getting the basket on the inside now. Okay, we're just coloring that in.
A pair of eyes, what a fascinating subject. The windows to one's soul, revealing emotions and thoughts. Keep a watchful gaze and see what truths they hold.
So Dusk, what was with the eyes? I don't understand what those are. Are you just thinking it's cute and pretty, or are you surprised, or are you just putting an alert type emote? Okay. Painty, 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 paint. Painting the handle. So a lot of times with dry brushing, you want to go from darkest to lightest. So when you dry brush your first layer, or when you paint your first layer, you want to go with the darkest option available, because when you dry brush it, it's going to go over those 3D effects, and it will leave the darkest color in the shadow locations, while also giving you a nice color difference between the two. I am going to have to wait in between some of these layers just to make sure it dries enough to where I can hold it and work with it. Because a lot of this I can't hold and paint at the same time. Okay, I think we got a lot of that done. And now I'm going to tilt it a little bit so I can see this front part. Lay it down. This will also help you guys to be able to see. And then I'm just going to paint wildly and unconcerned. Because again, I am doing a base coat, which means I do not need to worry about if it gets into the recesses or not, because that's where I want it. Now, as you can see, the wicker is very detailed on this, as you can see that from the little holes that I have to constantly fill. So, because it's so detailed, when I go to dry brush it, it's going to be really, really easy to get that nice shadow effect going on. I'm probably going to dry brush it a couple different colors, maybe like a parchment for the really light colors, maybe like oh god, what is this color? Latte for the kind of medium tones. So to do the highlight and the medium tones, the medium tone is dry brushed all over the piece. The highlight is just in specific areas. Apparently dripped here. My bad. Okay, that area does not want to be filled. Come here. There we go. Shall fill you. I am noticing where the dried areas are, this brown looks a little bit darker in some areas and lighter in the others. I am okay with this because wood, especially wicker, isn't all one color, so it gives it a little bit more of a realistic feel, but at the same time it's frustrating because that means I may have to do a second coat, but at the same time I don't want to do a second coat. Get what I mean? A lot of effort to do multiple coats. Okay. So we're getting some nice coverage right now. And I'm sure you guys can see like right here where it's both dark and light at the same time. Right into the crevices. Okay, I'm getting a little bit of paint on the bottom, which is not ideal, but I am having to go over some of those areas that I thought I painted, because I see some white holes in it. They're not getting fully covered. Is there any? Yeah, there's one right here. Just kind of checking around to see where all these holes are at. Oh my gosh. Oh, I thought I almost dropped it. Oh, that was a heart attack. With it being acrylic, it does dry a lot faster, so I could go in with the next layers on this piece and start, boiling it down to detailing for next time, but I am also killing my back right now, and it's hot as Haiti in here, and I know when it's hot, my webcam's gonna start having issues. My phone, that is, my current webcam, that is. So I don't want to stream too long. I don't want my webcam to overheat and die on me. It already has issues with the battery. I don't want to make them worse. Come on, there we go. Just painty, painty, painty. All to painting. So that much brown did about half of it, which is about what I anticipated. A little over half, but it's approximately half. Gotta really paint into those crevices, and then before I get more brown, I'm gonna let this side dry a little bit, and then I'm also going to add more brown to my palette. Like I said, it's not fully half, but it's almost half. Okay, I think I got most of that. A little bit right there, right there. Yeah, there's little spots here and there that just need paint. It becomes very evident once the paint dries where you missed. Or just didn't want to take. Some of the dark areas maybe, because I don't know, maybe I put thicker paint there or something. Okay, that looks good. Oh, there's a spot. There's a spot. There's a spot. There's a spot. Getting all the spots in. Okay. I think that looks good. So I'm going to set it down for a minute. While rotating it, I'm going to take some of this brown and go finish that handle here. I did get the handle on the other side completed. So I want both handles to be available for touching to hold the basket up. Okay, and the inside of the handle here. I have to go in very awkward angles here. some of these holes it just does not want to get into. Okay. Is there any more holes up here? Yes. Okay. So we're going to let that dry for a minute or two, nothing major. And then take a minute to look through my phone here. All right, we're already at an hour and almost 10 minutes. I know I started a little late today, but I'm still going to end around 3 o'clock. I just had things I had to deal with, lunch, kids, that type of stuff. And I had to change my clothes because, oh my lord, is it hot. We're going to pour some more brown. Do a little bit less this time. Because again, I was a little over the halfway. And we're going to slowly tilt this up again. Go in with this big brush. And cover up all the areas that I missed. Apparently I missed some on this handle. So we're just kind of bringing that brown up and around. Give a nice base color here. I wouldn't have been able to do it this detailed in the glaze paint because I would have had to have had it fired and then painted again and then fired and then painted again. I would have gone from light to dark instead of dark to light. So it wouldn't have been as easy to like dry brush it. Otherwise the dry brushing would have been on like the highlights would be in the shadows and the shadows would be in the highlights type situation. This one's being even more stubborn about letting me go into those cracks. I may need a lot of brown for this side. To be honest, with me turning this into a jewelry box, I may not have to paint the inside at all, just because of the amount of foam I'm going to have to put in there. It may cover the entire wall, so it may be silly to paint it. Okay, slowly getting this together. I may paint it anyway, just in case, like, say one of my kids inherits it and they want to turn it into something other than a jewelry box, then at least that center bit will be painted so they can use it as is. Hopefully none of them will turn it into a cookie jar because, again, it's not food safe right now. And it won't be because of the crack. But that would require them to remember and pay attention when I tell them as I pass it on. Yeah, this dry brushing is going to be so much easier on this basket part than what I'm doing currently. Gotta like really stamp this in to get these little areas. They are not taken very well. Try and spread that paint down because it's getting really thick in some areas and it's just not wanting to go into these cracks and crevices. I think when I'm done, I'm also going to write on this bottom that it's not food safe. So that way it's literally everywhere on this device. So if they get sick from using it with food, that's on them at that point. You ignored all the warnings. The one I tell you as I pass it down, and the warnings on the ceramic itself. Almost done. Just got about 1/8 of it left to go. Okay, we're getting there, we're getting there. Then I have to tilt it down so I can see all the areas where it did not paint for some reason. Even though I'm like smushing it into these crevices, like I'm really smushing my brush down. Oh, I got paint on me. Not surprised. I tend to always get paint on myself when I paint. Now, I'm probably going to add some of the goldiest gold somewhere on this. Maybe it's like the top rim or in the cat's eyes. The goldiest gold does have actual gold flakes in it, which is really, really nice. But they're so small, it's not going to be worth anything. But it'll add a nice, clean elegance to it. It'll make it feel a little bit more fancy and a little bit worth a little bit more. There's that. Any other spots here? There that I can see. There. Okay. Nope, right there. So I got almost the right amount. I have a feeling in the spots that I have to clean up, I will have the right amount. And again, this brown is kind of all over the place with color, which for wicker baskets isn't that big a deal. It's just irritating that it's not drying one solid color. Okay, there's all that good. That's good. Oh, I missed a little bit right here. See that little spot right there? See that spot right there? So right now I'm just going around kind of looking for where it might have gone white. Right here, right here, right here. It looks like there's a lot on this other side that missed, despite pushing it in. Almost out of brown. This did not take as long as I anticipated. I anticipated this to take another hour, but it did not. I think it's because it's all one color that made it go a little faster. Okay, I see a little bit more here. Have enough brown, and I don't want to get it for a teeny tiny amount. Okay, there we go. So the only paint I'm really wasting is the white, which is very, very disappointing. I do wish that I could have been able to put it into something else. Something nice. Ooh, I'll do the pinkest pink inside. That would be really pretty. Yeah, I think I'll do an iridescent pinkest pink. Anyway. Yeah. There's some areas that the shadow is just not going to pull as nicely because it's so freaking white. Okay, I think that's good. So that did only take me about 10 minutes. I don't know. I don't want to work on the next steps of this because I want it to fully dry. The next steps is the dry brushing, where I go in with these colors in a slightly lighter color, and then after that I will start. I'll start working my way into detailing. I am going to give this at least 2 days to dry, so we will come back to it Wednesday. I don't have anything else planned, so I think we're going to just leave it here. We'll leave it up and out, and then Wednesday we'll come back. I appreciate you guys all hanging out with me today. I know it was a really, really short stream. It's just really hot, like I said, and I don't want my webcam to burn out. Free hydrate for y'all. And yeah, I appreciate you all coming out and hanging with me. I have some stuff I gotta do. This is about where we're at currently. We have the cats basically all painted. We got the pillow painted. We got the blanket painted. We just have to go in with the highlights and the lowlights. And then after that, we will start going into details. So I appreciate y'all. Details will probably be Friday. Wednesday will be the dry brushing. And yeah, I love you all. I appreciate you all. And I will see you guys Wednesday. Bye!